A white horse covered in red blood up to the bridle just went rampaging through the streets of London, Michael Snyder reports. Why aren't more people talking about this? A white horse that was covered in red blood up to the bridle just went on a rampage through the streets of one of the most important cities on the entire planet, and almost everyone is ignoring it. It was accompanied by a black horse that had also gotten loose. The two horses actually rampaged through the streets of London for 6 miles before authorities were able to catch them. Along the way, the horses rammed into a tour bus and a taxi. Horses slammed into a tour bus parked on Buckingham Palace Road and a taxi outside the Claremont Hotel, smashing their windows, before two were seen running through Aldwych with their chests covered in blood. The horses rampaged for 6 miles before they were finally caught in Limehouse, East London. The injured horses saw a vet, and all of the animals are now back with the army. The British Army spokesperson confirmed this afternoon that the animals were spooked by construction work when building materials were dropped from a height. In my entire life, I have never seen anything like this. At some point, the white horse suffered a broken leg, and that is why there was so much blood. Thankfully, vets were able to treat the white horse to stop the bleeding. Footage of two horses being caught outside Gordon House on the Glamis estate in Limehouse, East London, appeared to show that the white horse had broken its leg. Still drenched in blood, the horse's back left leg was bandaged, and the animal seemed unwilling to walk on it. Held at the side of the road by several officers, the white horse bled all over the road and was treated by vets at the scene. Footage shows it's bleeding profusely from its back leg as police gathered around to stem the flow. Hopefully there's no lasting damage to any of the horses. So why is this story important? Well, when a lot of people saw this, they were instantly reminded of the 4 horses in the book of Revelation. The example, the following is what Sharon K. Gilbert posted on her Twitter account. A white horse covered in blood and a black horse rushed through the streets of London. White, red, black, prophetic sign. Is a pale green horse next? Of course, many others are convinced that this tragic accident was just a coincidence. Maybe they're right, I don't know. But any story that pops up in the news about a white horse is always going to get my attention. Meanwhile, the forces of darkness continue to become increasingly active. This week, a representative from Satanic Temple delivered an invocation at a country board meeting in Michigan. Representatives from the Satanic Temple of West Michigan gave an invocation at the beginning of Tuesday evening of Ottawa County Board of Commissioners meeting. Prior to the meeting, Commissioner Rebecca Curran handed out cookies with the Bible verse John 3:16 written on the packaging. Other people had signs protesting that a member of the Satanic Temple was giving the invocation. However, Bendra Bones, a member of that temple of West Michigan, said things stayed peaceful, adding that he was pleased with how the event went. This sort of thing is becoming way too common. There are now after-school Satan clubs in public schools all over the country, and every day millions upon millions of Americans consume television programming literally featuring such rituals. But at the same time, the mainstream media is working hard to convince all of us that demons do not exist. For example, the following comes from a recent New York Post article entitled, "Seeing a demon in your room when you wake up is more common than you think." It's the stuff of nightmares, of course. You wake up and you can't move your body. A shadowy figure looms over you, but you feel it's too real to be a dream. And if you've experienced this, you might have a sleep paralysis hallucination. The hallucinations typically happen when someone passes between the state of being asleep in a rapid eye movement stage and being awake, according to the Sleep Foundation. The body is temporarily paralyzed during these hallucinations because the body does not move when a person is in REM sleep. The brief lack of muscle control is called atonia. I'm sure that many of you have had similar experiences, but the mainstream media wants you to believe that whatever you saw during those experiences was not really there. Let me try to end this article with an encouraging note. According to his doctors, a 4-year-old boy in Denver did not have a heartbeat for 14 hours, and then something truly miraculous happened. A miracle of modern medicine, or a miracle from a higher power? No matter what you believe, the recovery story of Cartier McDaniel is nothing short of amazing. At just 4 years old, his heart stopped beating for 14 hours, and then all of a sudden it restarted. Now his family and doctors are sharing an experience they've never seen before. That is not supposed to be possible, but the doctors documented that this miracle actually took place. After 14 long hours, the boy's heart started beating again, and his parents were filled with joy. Maddox said his heart just restarted. That was really an incredible thing that occurred. After 14 long hours, Cartier's heart was pumping again, and it was something doctors had never seen before. Everybody else was jumping up and screaming and everything. Anderson said, "I just still could not process what was going on. Like you gave me the worst news of my life to the best news of my life. So why aren't the big news networks jumping all over the story?" Sadly, the answer is obvious. It turned out that his parents are Christians and they're giving all the credit to Jesus Christ. McDaniel said, "God got the last say. I know that God is real. I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ." And they're asking for continued prayers for Cartier, as he will likely remain in the hospital for several more weeks, possibly months. He's on the road to recovery and slowly getting his strength back as he undergoes testing to determine whether he suffered long-term damage. Yes, God is very real. In fact, in the books I've published as Michael Snyder, I've shared some absolutely astounding evidence for the Christian faith. Unfortunately, most people don't want to hear about such things. Even when a 4-year-old boy comes back from the dead after 14 hours, they don't want to hear about it. But I'm going to keep writing about stories like this because there are so many people out there that desperately need some hope right now. And this is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Michael's new book entitled Chaos, available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon, and you can check out his new Substack newsletter right here. About the author, Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book, Chaos, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, The Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and share his articles on your own social media accounts. It's definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.